It sounds simple. If you're going through shit, who wants to stay in shit? So you should never give up. But in reality, in practice, it's a lot harder than that. I'm sure many times if you're watching this, you felt like giving up, especially if you're in business or you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't even matter if you're that. Most people at some point have problems that perhaps sometimes, for even just for a fleeting moment, it makes them think they want to give up. But the reality is what are you going to do? There's nobody else going to fix your life for you. So it only comes down to you. Yes, you've got people that will help you out. Yes, you've got people that you can talk to, bounce ideas off, bounce whatever issues you've got. I've been lucky enough to have many people around me that I can do that with. So if you're watching this and you're in the shit and you do feel like giving up, let me tell you, as somebody that's been through various levels of mental health issues, depression, feeling pretty much as low as you can feel, as somebody that's been through that, come out the other side, but still continues to have challenges and issues to deal with on a weekly almost basis sometimes, there's absolutely nothing more that you can do other than never fucking giving up, ever. February 2016 was one of the worst times of my life, and I came close to giving up. Pretty finality close to giving up, really. But it's funny how things can change. A simple conversation, a simple hour, a simple thought can make you switch and get back the feeling that you want to get back, which is ultimately not giving up. In the space of 3 months from February 2016, my life turned around completely. Now, if I was a pessimist, I could say it's still shitty, I'm not where I want to be, and all of that stuff that that little voice in your head tells you. But the reality is it was the change I needed to make, and ultimately things got a lot better. And nearly 2 years on now, my life is massively different to then. I have a great girlfriend who supports me throughout. I have great friends and family who continue to support me. And I'm not telling you that life is completely great. I'm not telling you that issues and challenges don't happen. This year has been a particularly challenging year. Anybody in the Bitcoin and crypto space will tell you it's been a shitty year. It's been a challenging, horrible year. And only last month, I had some pretty major issues hit me. And I'd be lying if I said, for a fleeting moment, perhaps I thought, what's the fucking point? What is the point? But the reality is, what are you going to do? You got to keep going. And whatever vision or goals or whatever it is that you've got that's keeping you going, you've got to hold them close to your heart and keep them in your mind as to why you're going. So for me, pretty much anything I face, I'll allow myself a couple of hours, or even if it's significant, a couple of days to process it. But pretty much anything that comes along, I've now built up a resilience through all the shit that I've been through to be able to say, it doesn't matter. It's a challenge that needs to be dealt with. I'll find a way of dealing with it, and I will carry on until, in my head, I achieve where I want to be and I get to the eventual end goal that I've painted the picture of my life as being. That's one of the great things about being through the amount of shit that I've been through in the last 18 or so years, that apart from serious ill physical health, I've pretty much experienced every element of negativity that you can. Divorce, bankrupt twice, businesses failing, severe mental health issues, severe depression that has crippled me for weeks, if not months, in the past. And as someone that's come through the other side, but still has his challenges, some pretty major challenges, like I said last month, I had some major issues business-wise that ultimately have a ongoing effect into my personal life and affect people around me. Ultimately, waking up in the morning, not, if you're like me, it takes you an hour to kick into gear, but waking up in the morning and figuring out what you're going to do that day to overcome whatever challenges or issues you've got at the time, figuring that stuff out and having that end goal and having that painted picture of what your life is going to be is the only thing that you can keep in your mind and on a daily basis keep working towards. Doesn't matter what you've got inside going on in your head. I have two sides of my head. I have an optimistic side, which fortunately is the prevailing side of my head, and I had that little voice in my head saying you're not worthy, or it's not going to work, or you might as well just accept defeat. It's true that when you've had nothing, you don't really know what it's like, and this is not blowing my own trumpet in any way, but 18 years ago I was a multi-millionaire living in the Bahamas, living my life. I had all the money I needed. I had, at the time, my family. I had I thought was a great life, and I lost it all. And ultimately, it's a lot harder when you've had that and you've then not got it. One, it makes you want it back more, albeit not like I thought when I was in my early 20s what life was about. At the time, I wanted 0 to 100 million business and nothing in between. That's a lot's changed, because a lot of the challenges that I've experienced make you change and reevaluate what you want. I have no issue in still saying I won't give up until I'm a multimillionaire again. That's not just be able to say, because I can say I've got X amount of money in the bank. That's to be able to give me and my family and my friends the freedom, the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Despite all the crap I've had, I still pride myself on being able to work when I want, get up when I want, go to bed when I want, and within reason still be able to create my day as I want it. And I hold that very dear to me. The amount of people that have said to me in the last 10 or so years, just go and get a job. I can't think of anything worse. And for me, having the freedom to carry on trying and getting to where I want to get, like I said, I'm looking at this retrospectively now, and I've come through the other side of all this crap. So if you're watching this, or someone that's watching this, show them this video, because let me tell you, like I said, apart from severe ill health, physical health, I've been through it all. Really, there's nothing I can think of that I haven't been through. And I'm here to tell you, it always gets better. Within about 4 days of my worst day ever in February 2006, it started getting better. And I'm telling you, on that particular day in February, I had no hope left. I had nothing going that made me think it was worth carrying on. Within a few days, again, due to family and friends and people helping me get through that situation, I soon realized I've got a plan. I can work it. I can make it happen. And like I said, I'm not sitting here saying I'm exactly where I want to be now. I'm nowhere near where I want to be long term, but it changed. This time last year was a great time, mainly because of the Bitcoin price. And as I said, it's been a challenging year, but I'm still here, I'm still working, I'm still doing, and I'm still striving toward that goal. And nothing will stop me until I get to where I want to be in that goal. And that's what you've got to hold dear to yourself. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a financial goal, it doesn't have to be anything related to business or money. It can be whatever you want. If money was no object, what would you ideally choose to do in your life? What would your life consist of on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? That's what you want to be aiming for. And a lot of people can start to live that life a lot quicker than they think. It's not definitely do with finances and money and business and stuff. But whatever goal's driving you on, it could be a career change, a career choice, something you see yourself doing in a few years' time. Whatever it is that you see yourself being happy doing in 10 years' time is what you want to be striving for, and the thing you want to be able to keep in your mind when you are going through shit. Because you haven't lost until you've given up. And the way of not giving up is reminding yourself what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing for. It's as simple as that. I've said about this before, if I have an issue personally, I try and remember the rule of, is this going to affect me in a week's time? Is whatever issue I'm dealing with going to affect me in a week's time? If the answer's no, it's not even worth worrying about or thinking about, because it will resolve itself. If the answer is yes, it could be affecting me in a year's time, then is it affecting me in a week's time? Is it going to affect me in a year's time? If the answer is yes, that's something you've got to seriously look at. And one of the issues I've had last month could very well affect me in this time next year. It's a serious issue that needs as much as you can do. But as long as you've done everything you can do to resolve that issue that could affect you in a year's time and deal with it the best you can, there's nothing else you can do. It's as simple as that. That's how I try and categorize issues and things. And it doesn't matter. Let me tell you now, if you're watching this on Facebook and you scroll through your Facebook timeline, if you've got the kind of friends I've got, no offense to the friends I've got, a lot of business friends, I've got family and friends on there, but I've got a lot of business associates and people that I know. If you've got the timeline I've got, you could very easily get depressed about your life, thinking, fucking hell, he or she's, look at the life they've got and look at my life. I'm doing nothing compared to where these guys are at. First things first, stop comparing yourself to others, because we all do it. I've done it. Two things. One, you're living your own life. Other people have got different goals, different reasons for doing things. Stick to your own goals, stick to what your painted picture of your life's going to be like. That's the first thing. Second of all, don't forget that social media is a fluffy, nice view of people's life. There's not a single person out there that doesn't have issues. The wealthiest people I know still have issues. The happiest people I know still have issues. And that social media snapshot of their lives perhaps is not a completely true portrayal of their life. It's just as simple as that. It's a snapshot mainly of the good times. That's one of the things that I try and do. Instead of just giving the good stuff, I give the real stuff. And I talk about issues and challenges, because one, from a marketing point of view, it helps people realize I am real and associates. There's far more people going through struggles than living their life that they could never dream of. Far more people like that. There's various reasons that I do it, but the main reason is I do it because it's real. Yes, you'll see pictures of me traveling, not so much this year, but in the past. You'll see pictures of me traveling. You'll get a snapshot of that life. But also I want to represent the real life. So that snapshot of social media is not real. If you're comparing yourself to people you see, a real, true indication of what is going on. It's just not. So whatever you've got going on, if you're going through shit, please keep on going, because the reality is you'll never give up. If you never give up, that's the only time if you give up, that's the only time you can lose. And nearly 2 years ago, like I said, it was the worst time of my life. I was being trolled on the internet. A major business had failed, and I saw no hope at all. And it got pretty bad. But the reality is like moving forward, looking into next year, all being well with a lot of work and dedication, next year will be the year business-wise that I was hoping this year would be. If the price of Bitcoin had have been a bit better, it would have helped tremendously this year, but such is such, like I've talked about. You know, it's a market, an unregulated market, but we're not talking about that stuff. Always remember that it will always turn better. And if you are having a good run, something else I've learned is not to just rely on that good run always happening. It's as simple as that. So, like I said, if you are going through crap and you've got issues going on in your head, just keep going. As someone that's been there, it will get better. Doesn't matter. Keep that goal in mind. keep that painted picture of your ideal life, and never give up until you get where you want to be. Keep it real, guys. You'll be hearing a lot more from me via realetrepreneur.com. You'll be hearing a lot more about what I've got going on in 2019, and you will also hear me talking about this stuff because it needs to be talked about. Catch you soon, guys. Keep it real, and I'll catch you very, very soon.